both our parents and our young people should know that starting a family that God is involved in will have problems that are associated with them. So you as a parent shouldn't add to that problem by not supporting and blessing your young ones who want to get married. Or you who is a young person should not add a problem to what is already a big challenge to you by not getting the support and the blessings of your parents, because that would amount to a very dangerous risk for you to take. The reason being behind this is that even those who have the support of their parents, who have the blessings of their parents, are not finding it that rosy. Into it with a supposed curse. Or you as a parent who wants, because this boy didn't do, this girl didn't do what you want to do, say, no, I'm not going to go to best, I'm not going to be this support. Those even who have the support and the blessings of your parents are not finding it that rosy, because marriage is that challenging. So don't think about adding a bigger problem to it by not supporting your child, or not blessing them. And you as a young person, do not think about trying to enter marriage, jumping into it. Oh, I want to jump in without the blessings and the support of your parents. Today, we're discussing, what if my parents are not in support of the person I want to get married? Is there any way out? How should I approach the matter? How should I approach this matter? And while we go on, we're getting to know the questions we're going to be discussing. Let me just say them here. Pastor, you say I must bless them anyhow. Yeah. Now, should I still bless them if they are wrong? That's question number one. Should I still bless them even though they are wrong? And question number two will be transition today is, when I have, as a young person, this is a parent saying, should I still bless them even though they are wrong? Even though they are not they're not where they're supposed to be. They're not marrying the person they're supposed to marry. Should I still bless them? Even though they disobeyed me. They want to do it their own way. Should I still bless them? That's a question parents are asking. So we're going to discuss. Then the second question is the one that the younger ones are asking. The question, they are saying, when I have waited and waited tried everything. I have waited and waited. I have tried everything. Pastor, you say I should try. Reverend, everything you say I should do, I have done it. Canon, whatever you say I should do, I have done it. But they still do not want to let me go on and marry the person I want to marry. Should I wait and wait forever? Shouldn't I just go ahead and marry and ignore them? Should my life and future stand still? These are the questions the young people are asking, which we are going to be looking at together as we progress now. So have them in mind and be ready to come up with your write your contributions. We'll read them out from here. Right. Now, you as the young person who is asking this question, what if my parents are not in support of the person I want to get married to? Should be at these questions, have these questions. Ask yourself these questions. I'm just laying the foundation, and then anybody can the floor is open for anybody to come and talk. But let me just lay the foundation. Ask yourself these three questions. Number one, who am I? Who am I? Who are you? That's the first question you ask yourself. As in, what is my relationship with God? Who am I? The second question you ask yourself is, why do I want to get married to this person? Why not another person? Once this matter comes up, say, oh, my parents don't want me to marry the person I want to marry. These questions you must ask yourself, these questions to yourself first. And if you give them a right answer, as we're going to see, you'll see that you're going to land. So first question is, who am I? Who am I? What is my relationship with God? Second question is, why do I want to marry this person alone? Why not another person? The third question is, why are my parents saying no? What are their reasons of saying no, that I shouldn't marry this person? These are 3 questions you ask yourself.
Yeah.
If you give them right answers, generally, you see that you're going to solve the problem. Now, let me just give you a little background. The first question, who am I? If you are a child of destiny, the issue of your parents saying no to the person you want to get married to could be a plot by the pit of hell to push you out of divine will and divine purpose for your life. So it calls for you to make good use of your knees and speak to heaven. Speak to that God, that personality whom all hearts are in his hands. The Bible says that the heart of the kings, Proverbs 21, the heart of the kings are in God's hands. Proverbs 21:1. The heart of the kings are in God's hands. And like a stream of water, that God directs the hearts of the kings to wherever God wants. If you are facing this challenge, the first question is, are you a child of destiny? Are you a child of God? Are you born again? Do you have a destiny that you're carrying? Then it could be that this is hell.
Something is trying to fight.
Something wants to fight you, want to kill you from the beginning. Because even Jesus Christ, who was a savior, as at birth, we're going to celebrate in 2 weeks, at birth, Herod wanted to stop his life. So it could be that the enemy does not even want you, because once you make a mistake in your making choice of who you get married to, you already have started having problems with your life, your destiny. So it becomes a difficult thing for you to face life. Now, the mistake that young people always make is they go ahead and start the fight physically first. They attacking their parents, antagonizing them, getting angry, doing different other things. And when the thing didn't work, they now remember prayer. No, that's not the way. You start by, first of all, using your needs. Now, let's take it this way. Once you are in this category of children of destiny, and you can see that hair wants to fight, first thing you do is you need to know who you are. I said that. First thing, you need to know who you are when you want to go into a relationship. Young people listening to us, parents also listen. If you want to go into any relationship, first thing you need to do, know who you are. By that, what do I mean? Know your faith. Know your nationality. Know your color. Know your tribe. Know what you have and what you don't have. Second thing, know the person you want to marry. The same thing exactly. The person's nation, the person's color, the person's tribe, the person's nationality, everything. What the person has, the person's attainment, the person's tribe. Know this. Number 3, you also need to know who your own parents are. I knew before I started getting married, I knew who my parents were. I knew what they could accept and what they could not accept. Now, the fourth one is know who the person the spouse to be's parents are. When I wanted to get married to her, I knew who my father-in-law, who my father-in-law is, because he's still alive, he's there. So I knew who the person I wanted to go and ask for his daughter's hand in marriage.
To help you to be prepared.
So when you know all this, putting all this together, knowing who this man is, this woman is, your own man, your own father, because you are the one bringing the man. Say, Daddy, see the woman I want to, the woman I want to marry, or the man I want to get married to. So you are the one bringing the person. So you already know whether. So putting all this together will help you know if you will be readily accepted or immediately be rejected. Let me repeat. Putting all these things, these 4 things together, knowing who you are, where you are from, your tribe, what you can do, what you cannot do, what you have, what you do not have, your language, your nationality, your color, whether you're white or black. Knowing who the person is, the same thing, whether the person is white, black, whether the person is grown, and then knowing who your father-in-law is, your mother-in-law, your own father, your own mother, knowing also who your own father, your own mother, are, knowing who they are, will help you, putting all of them together, will help you to know. You don't need anybody to tell you. I know the Holy Ghost will help you here, but you don't need anybody to tell you whether you will be immediately accepted or if you will be immediately rejected. So once you know whether you'll be immediately accepted or immediately rejected, that will not help you to know how you prepare. Then, if you know that definitely you're going to be rejected, you will not do your underground work very well first before ever you go. Because once you go to go and start, say, hey, sir, I want to come and marry your daughter. Because you have not done your underground work first and the rejection has started, that rejection might continue. Even when they later say yes, they might not say the yes with all them. And until you have received the clearance from God, if you know you have God and the way you hear God, until you have received your clearance from God, please do not go. Because if you go, if you want to start it without receiving clearance from God, you will definitely hit the rock. And once you hit the rock, you're already in for a big problem. Please do not, once you know that you will not be immediately accepted, do not be in a haste. Say, all my mates have gotten married. Will I stay in my father's house forever? Or will I? And this is the lady I know I'm supposed to get married to. Why must so? Please don't be in a haste. If you are coming together is of God, please don't underrate the enemy of marriage. He might want to destroy it from the beginning. We have said that every means. If you are coming, if he wanted to destroy Jesus, the Son of God, who told you that if you are coming together is of God, that the enemy will not want to destroy it? So you have to be careful. And you have to make every effort to make sure that it doesn't happen. The second one is, remember the second question. The first question is, who am I? The second question, the second question, like we said before, is, why do they want me to, why do I want to marry this person? That's the second question I say, well, you need to ask yourself, why do I want to marry this person? Why do you want to marry this person? Are you sure this is your right person? Did you hear God clearly the way you hear God? Okay, even if you don't hear God clearly, do you have peace?
Your convictions?
Do you have proofs that this person should be my wife? This person should be my husband?
This is my husband.
What is driving you? At this point in time, this is time to ask yourself that question. Who is driving me? What is driving me? Why must it be this person? Why must I marry this person? If your answer to all these questions is yes, then your only option is prayer and patience. If you actually know that it's God that is guiding you, or that you have proofs, or you have peace, you are clear with your convictions that this is the person is supposed to be, and the parents are saying no, then your only option is prayer and patience. God using, but if it's not so, if your answer to any of these questions I presented now is not yes, you have to be very careful.
I'm having fears in some.
You're having fears. Let me repeat them. Are you sure that this person is the person God says you should marry? Number one. Number two, do you have proofs? Even if you didn't hear God, if you say, I don't, this thing people say about hearing God, I don't hear God like that. But at any time something wants to happen to me, I used to have the conviction. I feel it in my heart. Do you have that feeling? Do you have that peace? Convincingly. Do you see proofs around you? Things are happening around you. Are they telling you, yes, this is the person? You might not see a dream. You might not have a revelation, but is it the person? Now, if your answer is yes, then prayer and patience. But if the answer to any of these questions is no, then you have to pause and ponder. Why? Because God uses many things to help us. God might be using your parents to bring you to the point of thinking again.
Thinking about that relationship.
God might be using them. Because if they had said, yeah, go on, you would have gone on. And when you not get there, you make the mistake. And when you have made the mistake, you can't come back again. Or you want to go into divorce. So God might be using them to want you to pray again, to think.
To be sure.
Yeah, to be sure. Now, why is it so? The truth is that God uses our parents to bring us out from unknown troubles, unknown pains in marriage. I don't know how it happens. The reason is that almost all the marriages that parents did not support at the initial time or by one word or the other, they didn't give their support. They didn't give their consent. Or later, okay, even when they say, okay, go on, they didn't give their blessings from their hearts genuinely. Most of those marriages, permissive week, God bless you, baby girl. Most of those marriages never ended well. Some of them have problems at the beginning. First 1 month, already there's a problem. First 1 year, there's already a problem. Some had problem at the center of them, at the middle part of the marriage. And some have problem towards a later time. And whenever you come, maybe 15 years after, 20 years after, 25 years after, you see somebody 25 years after saying, no, I'm not going to marry this lady again. He goes for a second wife. The father saw it from the beginning and told you this person is not good. He said, no, Daddy, I love him and he's a good man. Your father already have known that this guy
he will be like this.
One day when this guy will go and marry another woman, please, my dear. They saw it from the beginning. And parents, listen carefully. If you want to play your role as a parent and allow God to guide you, you always know the person your children want to marry, whether they are right or they are wrong. God will have a way. Parents, remember, look at me, I've been here 15 years. My mother had been there for more than 50 years in marriage because my was more than 60 years. So assuming I'm getting married, my mother will know. Or she will know. They are mature. My father-in-law have been there for the same almost 50 years too. So he will know.
What they know,
what they know, you don't know. You're just young, of 25 years, 26, 24 years, 23 years. What do you know?
So when you come to tell us, I love him, he loves me, we just look at you and we
agree. You love him.
Because we have known what love is. We have understood this love. So when a parent is talking to you, you be saying, shaking your head, this is modern age, he loves me. This, that. They will just be laughing at you, you know?
No, time will fail us to say that what we call love before marriage, naturally, if I tell you, I know I will shock you.
Doesn't really exist.
There's nothing like marriage, love before marriage. It doesn't exist.
It's when you get into the marriage.
It's when you get into marriage, you know that there's
the real love.
But I know it's a topic for another day. We won't talk about it today. When they say I love before marriage doesn't exist. One day when we come here, you will know what we're talking about. But if you don't like it, go ahead. Love before marriage doesn't. Otherwise, why would people who love themselves, courted for 2 years, fight on the same night of their marriage? Why would let's leave that? That's not a topic. So be sure of what you want to enter. To be sure of who is leading you. Now the third question I said, why is my parents? Why are they saying no? What are their reasons? Why are they saying no to this? Now, a bitter truth, that's question number 3. I want to answer before my baby girl. And only of course, want to talk, you raise your hand. A bitter truth, we must say here, bitter truth, is that most of the reasons why our parents, listen, even me now, most of the reasons why our parents do not want to allow our kids, our children, to marry the person that God wants them to marry, or the persons of their choice, are selfish. Most of the reasons are selfish. They emanate from your personal attainment as a father, as a mother. I remember when I got married some 16 years ago, I know who my father-in-law was, and I know who I was that time. So how can this one be the one marrying my daughter? I was Mr. Nobody. The only one I had the time I wanted to go and marry her was God. So now, and look at the man I wanted to go and marry his daughter at that time. So it is the same thing everywhere. The person will check, parents will check who I am. Not even who my daughter, who the person is. No, who I am. They check their tribe. They check their color. They check their attainments in life, who they are, what they have, their class, their ego, the family they came from, whether they are royalty or not. Whether the person is rich or poor. You see, some of the people who were rich 15 years ago when we got married, some of them are poor now.
Very poor. Yeah.
Now, so parents, why I repeat, most of the reasons why they say no is because of who they are, not whom their daughter or their son is, or who the person who is coming to marry their son or daughter is. No, it's who they are. It's selfish. It is not even because they saw a red flag. On the contrary, what parents should do is to intelligently check for red flags.
And like we said, personality
traits, not who the person is and who you are and who you are not. Whether you are royalty, whether you are not royalty, whether you are a rich man or not. You know the governors, you know the prime minister, you know the premier, you know the senators, and you know, said, well, how can, you know, so all those, so not those things. The thing is, are there red flags in this person that is coming to marry my daughter? He's coming to marry my son, my daughter, my son wants to get married to. Are there red flags? Are there future pains you see? Do you find out that this relationship
from experience is it from experience? Your own marriage?
Do you hear God? Is this relationship is of God? Is he of God? This relationship. My father-in-law told us later that the reason why he allowed me to marry her was because he knew he's of God. And today, I think he can see it now. See, because I didn't have anything then. So, is he of God? Is this person going to give my daughter or my son future pains? He's going to leave her tomorrow. Is he going to leave him tomorrow and he suffer?
In trying times, you know?
Yeah. Look at the red flags. You know? Now, also look at the person. If the person has the potentials of both of them making it successfully, does this two of them being together?
Feature. Is there any feature in him?
The whole thing is still fresh. When my wife and I will kneel down before him for him to bless us, he said that two of us look like twins. That's what he said, that we look like twins. Do they have now? That thing was not a physical word; it was a spiritual word. Do they have potentials to make it together?
To make it together, to last.
To last, you know, together.
It's even in lasting now. The durability of that relationship.
Do they have potentials to last together?
Can you see it as a parent? You know.
That's your responsibility.
Or are you just seeing him?
Look at my daughter now. She's just growing up. Look at my boys. They are coming up. You know. Okay. I know life more than they. So if I see somebody, I will know.
Yeah. Does he have? Does he have this
so
one?
These are the things that you as a parent should look out for, and not to tell the child that no, you're going to marry him, you're going to marry her. The person is classless. The person doesn't have money. The person doesn't have. No, those things are not. The person is white and you are black. The person is black. No, those things are not the issue. So this is where I'll stop before I come back to conclude. When all of us have been able to bring up their own. Remember the questions we want to trash out today. The question is before my baby girl will come up, and then anytime you raise your hand, always remember that's the way, that's the law here. Anytime you raise your hand, you want to talk, we'll recognize you and we'll give it. So the questions we want to trash out today is the long ones are asking. The parents are asking first, say, Pastor, you say, Reverend, I should still bless them, even if they are wrong. Anyhow, I should still support them, even when they're making a mistake. Yeah. Now, the question is, should I bless them even in their mistake, even if they're disobeying me, even if they are not bringing the right person? Should I bless them? That's the question we're going to be answering now. And then the second one is, if you're on Facebook, write your own, we'll read it, or you can come to Zoom, or you can even come up there, we'll still recognize you. Or if then if you're on Zoom, you can raise your hand. Now the young people are asking, when I have tried everything and they still refuse, I've prayed, I've done everything, should I ignore them and go ahead and get married? Or would I wait forever? Would I be waiting forever? Will my life and future just be put to stand still because my parents are saying no? Now, that's the questions. These are the two today.
The first one is, should I still bless them?
Should I still bless them?
Should I still bless them? Should I still give them my blessings? Mm-hmm. I'm going to speak from the perspective of the parents on that perspective right now.
Okay.
As a mom.
All right.
And then, but before then, I want every single one out there to know that when your parents are saying no about whoever you're bringing to the house, you must know one thing, whether they have, I agree, they may have selfish motives, but you must still know that your parents are older than you. They have experience, and they may have concerns about your safety, about your welfare. The concerns they're expressing are very, very in order, because nobody wants to have a child that will go and start suffering in marriage. Nobody wants to have a child that will not be well, will not be protected. Tomorrow issues will be coming up. So when they raise their concerns like this, it's just for you to be calm and hear them out. You really need to know why they are saying no. You really need to find out from your parents, why are they saying no? It could be that they don't even have an understanding of who you are bringing to them. And then that is why you must do your homework very well. You're bringing in somebody into the house. It is your duty to explain to your parents whom that person is. Everything about that person, like my beloved just said. everything about her, him, the family, the background, the educational qualification, everything. You have to make your parents know that this is this person. So when they have an understanding of this person you're bringing to them, that is one point. Then if they now haven't known all about him or her, and they're still saying no, my dear, it could be pointing to something. You have to calm down. You have to pause and then go into reflection. Go to the place of prayer where God will make you know why they are saying no. It could be that there is something you're not seeing. You know, there's this evil adage that what an elderly person sees while lying down on the floor. You, a child, even if you climb the mountain, you're not going to see it, because that is an elder. He sees with the eye of an elder and an experienced person. You cannot see it. You know, youth of nowadays, our children of nowadays, they are very much in a hurry, in a haste to marry. And then you see them jump into marriage, and the same speed they're using going into marriage is the same speed they are using to come back. And you ask yourself, what is wrong? What is responsible? Many didn't listen to their parents. They get there to realize what mom and dad was saying. That is true.
And sometimes they are ashamed to come back.
And they are there suffering and enduring. And most times it has led to death, you know, and then they're entering into depression and suffering all manners of things. But now, coming to the question of should I still bless them? Because, you know, these kids, you must know that we love our kids, we love our children. And every mom and every dad, I know they have love that they want you to be better than them. They want you to end up in a comfortable home. You know, those who suffered in marriage at the beginning may not want their children to suffer again. So their eye will be somewhere. Now, while you pray for your children to end up in the hand of a good man, comfortable, that they will not suffer in marriage, you must know that your blessing is very, very important. Now, for you, a child, for you as a child, you know that what Bible says in Ephesians 6 about children obeying their parents in the Lord, you know, that it may be well with you. Not just there, even in Exodus, the commandment among the 10 commandments, it talks about honoring your parents. And how can you honor a parent you don't love? You know, a parents you don't show love for, a parents you don't respect. When you are honoring your parents, you are as well honoring God. You are just showing simply that you love God and you honor God. That is the time you can honor your parents and respect your parents. And how can you just ignore your parents, you know, opinion about whom to marry, and you say you're honoring God? You just despise them. They are making you know that this is not the right person for you. You ignore them, you despise them, and you want to go ahead in that marriage. You just ignore them. You are not interested. Say, let them go to hell. They can, you don't care whether they attend the wedding or not. How can you be saying you don't care whether your own parents, you know, attend your wedding or not? That you are okay, provided the lady loves you, the guy loves you. How far do you think that love can carry you without the blessings of your parents? How long do you think you can last? They say that it may be well with you in the land the Lord your God is giving you. What it means is that you need these parents for it to be well with you in that marriage. You need their blessings. And you parents, you have to understand that these children need your blessing. They need your blessing for it to be well with them in their home, in their matrimonial home. They need your blessing. So it's not an issue of let them go. You know, you disown them since they refuse to tell you, they refuse to accept, you know, and because of that, you don't want to give them your blessing. And you forget that they need to live happily. They need to be comfortable. They need to have the fruit of the womb. They need to have every blessing marriage can give, you know, because they have your blessing. But when you deny them and deprive them of that blessing, you know, because they didn't obey you, they didn't honor you, they didn't respect you, how do you want them to be happy in that marriage? So we must know that whether they want to accept our choice, you know, whether they want to listen or not, please let us give them, let us just try and say, God, please help me. You pray for them, wish them well, bless them. Say, okay, since you have made your choice, and I've tried every effort to make sure that you don't go there and you seem not to be, you know, heeding to instructions, I bless you. Still bless them with your heart as a mom. Please don't turn your back against them. Don't say, okay, go now. You will suffer it there. You know, some people lay more curses on them, you know, because they disobeyed them.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, please give them your blessings. That is just what I'm saying. Whether they want to accept or not, give them your blessings and pray for them. Let God open their eyes.
Thank you, my baby girl. Rafi, your hand is up. You are still muted.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you come up. You are.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Once again, I thank both of you for, you know, giving us the real truth. I want to say that sometimes, you know, we have gotten the wrong information. That's why, I mean, we, in terms of, when I say we, I mean everybody generally, we get the wrong information. And that's why we make, a lot of mistakes. And, the information like, if the parents don't agree to you, so it's not both of you, you are living your life, just go ahead with your life, And so we tend to forget. And sometimes we go overboard to say, yeah, these are old-fashioned people, But the truth is that if you want to take it back, right from the time of when Abraham got a wife for his son, he was involved in it. He was personally involved. And then if you look at your forefathers, most of their marriages worked. The success rate of marriages in the past is higher than what it is now. It's not because that we in this generation we are more educated. No, it's just because we're getting the wrong information, and that's not, it hasn't been helping us. Anyway, let me now break this into two folds and answer. I will skip a lot of things because our dear sister Lillian just hit. She said everything that was in my mind, but I'm just going to add a few bits. Now, as a parent, the question on parents to the child. Fortunately, I've been involved in this. My last sister, I was the one that she brought the husband to me. I was the one that looked at the person and gave my verdict. So I had that experience as a young person then. So yeah, the truth is, the parents are able to, the older person with the experience, experience comes with years, with age. So they're able to see what is involved, what is happening in the future, what can go wrong. They have this hunch then, right? So, and if the parent is a Christian, that makes it even it gives them a better perspective of seeing what is happening. My suggestion would be, yes, you could tell them, advise them. The difference between the current dispensation and the old dispensation is that you can have a dialogue. Before, in the olden days, you probably don't have a say if you're going to, what you want to buy. But you can tell them, you can let them understand, why the marriage, you think the marriage should not happen, and you can, again, being a Christian too, you can follow it up with prayers. The truth is that when someone wants to make a decision, a life depending decision, sometimes their judgments are clouded. So as a parent and as a Christian parent, you stand in a very good position to guide them. You're guiding them now to help them to really make the decision and not even making the decision for them. So it's more like a guidance, which is beautiful. Some of us never had this kind of guidance. You guide them to look at it, with prayers. Another, places, other things that you can apply wisdom, trying to let them separate themselves to see. So yes, you don't want to, but when the person insists, yes, like our sister said, you don't push them. You don't say, okay, all right, you're 10 to Israel, or okay, you're on your own on this side. You probably will still be there to help, correct things, mend things, and do what you need to do. So the point is, you don't push them, but before they enter into it, you try and make sure, put prayers and through, guidance and everything to make sure that they really understand why they're going into that thing. Okay, so for the next one, as a later in future, I mean, at some point in time, I had this friend that he wasn't really a Christian per se. I mean, he's a Christian, but he wasn't really that kind of born again kind of person, But yet, I did not understand why he didn't want to marry. I mean, he waited until a long time before he got married to the girl he wanted to marry. parents did not agree. His parents did not agree. I'm not sure about the girl's parents, but he said he would wait until they agree, because he needed to make sure that they understand. I mean, they approve of that marriage.
Yeah.
Until they eventually approved, he waited. So I would say it is better to remain. I mean, this is not good, but yes, it is better to remain single than to enter into a house where you will suffer all kind of physical, emotional trauma, and at the end of the day, you divorce. You need that marriage, and you still become single as you were before.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's some people will say it's between the red blue sea and the devil and the red blue sea. No, none of the options is desirable. But look, some options that single listen is more desirable than you encounter physical abuse. Yes, strive for every. I'm just trying out for every single person. Strive to make sure that the parent, supports you. Do not believe in that heresy that say, no, it's not their life, my life. It's heresy. Try to ensure that they support you. And not just that they are giving you what you say, what did you call it again? Permissive will. No, make sure that they are in support of you in total, because you cannot do without them. Forget it. There's no man, I mean, there are also issues where some people sell their daughter and they make you, and then the bride and the groom is saying, look, let me just stay married. Maybe tomorrow you come and tell me that you are sick or you need help. So there's always a place of, carrying along both parents and the individual. So ensure to do that. And again, I'll end up by saying that, look, I mean, we can only say much here in this case, but at some point you still need counseling of a man of God when you enter into such situations, because they will help you to see it through. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very well, brother. God bless you. You've trashed the two questions at the same time. Maybe you have much. Yeah. If you are still online, you just raise your hand on Facebook. You can come up. You can just write. We'll still recognize you. Yeah. It's still open for discussion. Yeah. So as you have talked about as a parent now, and Phil also started as a parent, and he got to the point of what the young ones are saying. So, and he advised them. So what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have to add while we wait for another person here to come?
He's right. It's better to wait. Yeah. It is better to wait. And why waiting? That is why, in the first place, you have to, when you know your parents, like my case, I knew it's not going to work easily. So what did I do? I started working on it, on the groundwork, like he said, the prayer aspect.
Yeah.
Both of us started praying together. That God will have to go ahead of us. When you know who you are, you know who your parents. You just say, this man I'm going to bring to them. They're not going to accept this man. So what you do is not for you to start preparing yourself. It's not just something you just wake up one morning and you just go to your house and for introduction, bringing him or her. Definitely they will kick both of you out. And then you get angry and then start saying your parents are not supportive. Did you do your underground work well?
Very well.
Did you go back to your creator who is saying this is your own gift I'm bringing for you?
Yeah.
Because definitely you're going to get obstacles, you're going to get rejections, people who want to stand against that will of God for you. And then you don't just want them to just agree easily like that to it. So that is why you needed to have done a very good underground work, prayerfully. Involve men of God, people you trust, pray along with me. Even before you go for that, you go to announce to them about your intention, you should have done your work very well. And then why you have told them and they're saying no, you can't marry him or her. See, there is still need for dialogue. Keep on talking it over with them. As you pray, you allow God to lead you. God can say, okay, it's time to move. Go and discuss with them. You will go. God can say, take this person and go. God can lead you to somebody and say, go along with this man. Go along with somebody who has a personality. You just go along with the person that maybe when your parents see him or her, they will be broken. Because of that person, they may say, okay, that's okay. They can change their mind. God can lead you to do anything if you want to listen to him, if you want to follow him. Because if he's saying this is your wife, I don't think that God will allow anything to stop it.
Yeah.
Yes, because it came to a point, I'm like, God, if you're saying this person is the person I'm going to marry, I know Yeah. Physically, it's not going to be possible. With man, this is not going to be possible. But with you, all things are possible. God, make it work. That same God who is bringing that person your way. See, God cannot be foolish to give you a husband or a wife, and then we allow anybody to stop it. Excepting it's not this God I know.
I like that.
This God I know is too big bigger than your father, bigger than your mother. Excepting you didn't do the right thing. He can break anybody. It doesn't matter what the reason is. God can break him or her. If you do the right thing, I'm telling you, it's a gift. The gift of a good wife is what God can give you his child. A good husband. That's what the best gift God can give you in life is a good husband and a good wife. So with that same God, be wicked to leave your parents to be the one to make you to miss it? No. And remember, these parents gave back to you. So if it is difficult, go to him. Go to your father. Go back to him and tell him, look, my earthly father is trying to stand on the way. There's nothing like, when people say, I can do it by myself. I know how to handle it. They leave God out of it. They can go about doing it without their parents' knowledge. How far do you think you can go? After all, you're the one that will live with the man or the woman.
That will live with them.
It doesn't really work that way. You need your parents. You need them. So as a guy or a lady that wants to get married and it's difficult at this point, you need them more. That anybody is making you believe you don't need your parents, the person is deceiving you. Yeah. You need these, your parents. So if they say no, my dear, wait. It could be in the process of waiting that your eyes can open. You know the real person they're talking about. So don't be in a hurry. Just wait. It's better you wait extra 1 year, 2 years and get it right than jumping into it and then not getting it right. Yeah. And then you jump out tomorrow. Or if it will even end in death, then the parents will say, oh, if only she had listened to us, she wouldn't have gone into this marriage that has just taken her life.
It always speak up again.
It always rise up one day. So you have to wait and get it right with your parents, because that blessing, that parental blessing is very, very important. You need it. You need it. Whether they are believers, unbelievers, so that blessing. See, a blessing, a mom blesses the daughter, or if a dad blesses the son. There is nothing that can stand it. No demons, no power has that right to challenge the blessings of your parents from their heart. I don't mean the one you just compel them. They were like, their hands are tied. There's nothing, if they don't do it now, the world will say, hey, are we not? Even believers, they have just accepted like that without willingness from their heart, just because they don't want their congregation or their people to say, are you no longer a man of God? Are you that wicked? So you have released your children in the hand of, into marriage without blessing from your heart. And they go there, they are struggling in marriage. Things are not going right because you didn't bless them from your heart.
Yeah.
So it is very, very important that you have to wait for them and get it.
All right, Phil, thank you, baby. Phil added to what you were saying that you can involve a respectable uncle or auntie. Like me, my father in God, Pastor Godwin Eko, was the one who canceled us in marriage. And so once I introduced my wife to him, and I told him the involvement, he was on his toes. He said, son, we're going to pray. So we prayed and prayed and prayed. When I woke up and told him that I prayed, to say, no, you have not prayed. Say, no. We're not prayed. I said that I've prayed through. We'll go. Look at that zeal of a very young man, thinking I was anything.
It's not by strength.
This man prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. After 2 or 3 months, he told me, so I'm going with you. And now, so let me tell you, I won't tell you that, so I will not laugh. So when we got there, we thought he was, so when we got there that day, he came out with his full force with his person, like Philip said, and the story was a different one. And finally, it worked out.
They say big man talks to big man.
Yeah, so he did all the, so because I didn't know much about
it. It happens, it's true.
So, especially when finally, God made it happen. The time I say, son, it looks like God has prospered our way. Let's do this. Because I was still doing my UPZ.
That is the problem of youth.
Let's live here.
Let's just go and get married.
Calm down.
Let's just run away and get married. How far can you last in that running away?
There's nothing you can. You're not brought in, but there's, baby. Let me repeat something as we want to. If you still have your question, ask your question. If you're on Facebook, ask your question. If you're on Zoom, ask your question, make your contribution. We're here before we round up today. See, there's something you said, which I had God. That thing was word from the Lord. Simple. It looks like I'm hearing it for the very first time, and I wrote it down. She said that God is too big to have given you a man or a woman to marry. You say, God gave me. God is too big to have given you a man and a woman to marry, and a mere mortal will stop it. Stop it.
Who is that one? It doesn't exist. That person has not existed.
Write it down.
So
write it down.
If he's saying
God is too big to have given you a man to get married to. Say, God gave me.
And then someone
God has gave you a lady to get married to, and a mere mortal in the place of your father, your uncle, your guardian, your mother, your auntie, or whosoever will stop it. God is too big for that to happen.
Yeah, cannot happen.
So you need to know the God you're talking about.
Yes.
So if it is not working out, then you have to know that probably God is not there. Because if God is with you in that relationship, then the heart of the kings are in his hands. The heart of your parents, the heart of your uncle, the heart of your auntie, all of them, their hearts are in your hand. Your mother, your own mother, would be mother-in-law, it would be father-in-law. Their hearts are in God's hands.
Pray and wait. Pray to
the
God.
heart of Pharaoh was in God's hands.
Pray to God.
When he wanted Joseph to become prime minister, he made it. See, the heart of the kings are in God's hands. So go back to this God who you said spoke to you. Use us as an example. Go back to that God. Say, God, this is the person you said I should marry. Then you have to walk. You have to make it work. Those who
will make it
you have
work.
to make it work.
Definitely.
Anyhow, he will make it work. And don't be foolish. I must use that word. Don't be foolish to pray. Say, let that man die so that my uncle, that woman die. No. Maybe your mother-in-law doesn't seem to like you. And both of you are sure. Say, let her die. No, that's stupid. That's stupid. That's foolish.
Nobody is dying.
Please, that's foolish and stupid because you still need her. And your husband also, your husband to be needs her. So don't be, some young ladies have prayed such stupid prayers. Even when they didn't pray it, they desire it. They wish it. No, please, you don't. Don't be that foolish, please. It's foolishness. Don't even think about it, please. So go back to God and say, God, please, touch their hearts. Now, parents, on the other hand, please, stop. We advise you, please, parents, stop imposing your will, your selfish will on your children on a delicate matter like marriage. Please, stop imposing your selfish will on a delicate matter like marriage.
There is no red flag. There are nothing.
Please, that's evil.
There's no point.
It's evil. What you need to check is red flag. Like we're not repeating, we're just concluding.
There are nothing.
If there's nothing, not because of the status, not because of color, not because of
can change any day.
It changes. It changes.
No condition is
There's
permanent.
nobody who married and remained in that status, that level of marriage. Either you go up or down. Simple. See, that person will either go up or down. Simple. So why not believe and pray that the person goes up instead of manipulating her, especially the ladies, to go and marry the person you think is already up. That person up today might be married down tomorrow. Yeah, that's the truth. Some who were up when we got married are down now. That's the truth. Just 15 years ago or 16 years ago. So stop manipulating your children also into marrying your will instead of God's will or their own choice. Stop manipulating them. Even when you're manipulating them, by trying to match them, you bring them together, you make them meet, you send them, you just all those manipulations to make sure you speak to them, say, oh, what do you think? You cajole them into, please, don't manipulate them into marrying your will, your choice.
They can't be happy, and it's
you will not be the one living with some. I don't know why parents. You are not the one who will live with the man. You are not the one who will live with the woman. Why do you want your daughter, especially women? Why do you want your daughter to marry the man of your choice? Are you the one that will live with your son-in-law? It's your daughter. Why do you want men? Why do you want your son to marry the daughter of your choice? Are you going to be the one living with the lady? You have your own wife. Leave him to marry the one God wants him to marry, or the one of his choice. by the proofs and the convictions the person has.
Yeah.
And then you as young people, now listen, as we conclude, please, young people, no matter what happens, listen to your parents to see if they have a point. I have said it before, I repeat as we conclude. God has many ways of bringing us out of future pains, future divorce, future troubles, future untimely deaths. Their parents might say no now, especially as ladies. The reason might be because that man will not last long. If they might not even know why they are saying no. I've had a man of God who said that when we used to say that the lady, God showed her that this lady will not last long. You know, that the lady was oversized. So finally, not quite long, the lady passed on. So he was still, I needed a woman who would be with me all through the ministry, not the woman who would die and I will be struggling. How do I raise these children? If you bring in another woman, the woman might not even like your beloved children.
Maybe their parents
they saw, or they didn't want to say it, or they just, something is speaking to them, leave this relationship. You as a man, you as a lady, please take things easy. We're advising you now. Take things easy. Listen, ask them questions. Know if there's a point they have. Pray more. God might be speaking to you. Remember what we have said. The word of wisdom that came here is, God is too big. God is too big. God is too big to have given you a man or a woman to marry and a mere mortal to stop it. God is that big. Whatever God has said he should do, he is too big to stop a mere mortal, to allow a mere mortal to stop it. God is not that small. Now, number two, please, another thing is, even when you are stopping, like we said before, don't allow them manipulate you into marrying somebody who is not your will, God's will for you or your choice. Do not allow yourself to be pushed out of God's will as a young person. Do not allow yourself to be pushed out of God's will and God's purpose for your life. For it is better for you not to marry than to marry her. So it's better you didn't even marry. You are single than marrying her, marrying the person your parents wanted you to marry, which is against God's will. Because that's the worst mistake of your life which you can make. Be careful. So these are two things. Parents, don't manipulate. Children, listen. But even if, as you listen, they're still delaying you, still, do not allow yourself to be pushed into marrying against God's will, against God's purpose, God's plan for your life. If you don't have any other question, don't have any other contribution, we'll stop here today. We'll be here again next week. Remember, the 1 year anniversary of the Marriage Clinic International is still loading. 24th December. It's going to have a lot of side attractions, a lot of gifts, and a lot of everything, a lot of celebrations on that day. 24th, 9 a.m. Saskatchewan time, 4 p.m. Nigeria, and those who are in Nigeria, and 8 a.m. CST, 10 a.m. EST. And that's next week's Saturday, next 2 weeks Saturday, 24th December, 9 a.m. Tomorrow, if you are within Saskatoon or you are outside Saskatoon, we are pastors. We are Reverend Canons in Anglican Church. So we are pastoring the church to only that we have been on Zoom all this while. So please, if you are within Saskatoon or you are around Saskatoon, worship with us tomorrow night, 9:30 a.m. at the Field House, Saskatoon Field House, meeting room 3. Once you come there, ask the meeting room 3. That's where we're going to be meeting. Now, just take note of this in case you are not able to make it tomorrow. On Sunday 18th, will be our yearly and annual Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas carol, and love feast. Lunch will be served. Join us that day, 1 a.m. If you are around Saskatoon, you are visiting, you are an Anglican, you are a child of God, whether you're an Anglican or not, just join us. We're going to be here 18th, 1 a.m. The same Saskatoon Field House, meeting room 3. That's our day of saying God, thank you. We're doing Christmas carol, telling God, thank you for Christmas. And then we're also going to be eating, because my father will always tell me everything about Christ. Whenever Christ bless people, he also gave them food. So that day, we're going to eat together. We'll stop here today. Remember our Love Feast, and remember also the 1 year anniversary on 24th. Let's pray. Father, thank you for today, for having been with us. We'll pray for our young ones, that Lord, you help them to be obedient, and you help them to do your will. We pray, Lord, for our parents as well, that you bring them out of manipulating their